All right, so a big dominating win for the Warriors out there tonight, beating the Detroit Pistons by a final score of 118 to 91. Obviously, the Pistons aren't the greatest team. A win's a win, though. The Warriors this game look like an actual team for the first time in a little while. Although they've won some games, they haven't looked their best. But if you look at the point breakdown, 20 points for Wiggins, 28 points for Curry, 18 points for Kelly Oubre of all people, and 16 points for Jordan Poole. Yeah, Jordan Poole, a guy that barely plays usually, had 21 minutes and 16 points, and for him, that's phenomenal. James Wiseman, 11 points, and he had some crazy dunks out there. The Warriors looked like they were having fun. Play after play, they would, lob the ball to each other, these insane passes. Curry was hitting threes. Klay Thompson was in the broadcast booth for a bit. It looked like an awesome game compared to the previous games where they've looked inconsistent. Now, although Oubre had 18 points, and I'm totally proud of him for that, he's got to keep this up. I mean, the last time Oubre had a really great game, which was against the Lakers, he dipped downward spiral from there. So he's got to keep this up. Oubre, there's been a lot of trade talks about Oubre, like I've said, and if he wants to keep this job, he's got to play that role because, less than 10 points, maybe even less than 12 to 15 points for his position and his minutes is unacceptable. He's playing almost as much time as Curry and scoring a lot less. However, I'm not trying to discredit what he did tonight. Incredible. The Pistons, like I said, are not a great team. They're 5-15 now, so they're definitely in a rebuild. Their point breakdown was very dry. 18 points for Jeremy Grant and 17 for Josh Jackson. Besides that, 5 points for Griffin, blah, blah, blah. They had barely any points by individuals. But the Warriors, what a dominating win for them. I mean, it's nice to see this happen because, they lost the last game to the Suns, and that one was boring and it kind of sucked. However, their schedule is a little bit tough for the next 3 games. They're going to play the Celtics next Tuesday, and then the Mavericks twice in a row. So those are both really good teams. And so we will see what will happen. But in terms of the Warriors, Stephen Curry is playing to perfection. There's really no more you can ask of him. But, I'm glad to see Poole. It just goes to show, Steve Kerr's way of coaching where he can fit these kind of low-tier players into the lineup. As Poole, barely gets any time usually. Had time, and he performed. And obviously Wiseman, not in the starting lineup, and that's totally okay because he's still getting those minutes. I don't think starting defines success. He still had 11 points while the starting center, Looney, had 6 points, but he still was a role player with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Now, I said this time and time again, I think it's really interesting how Wiseman has been the backup center the past couple games, and I think it's working pretty well. The games that's happened, they've won. I think they won all but one, and Wiseman is still getting quality minutes. He's still playing 17 minutes while Looney is playing 23. So I think that's working well. I'd say, I wouldn't be surprised if Wiseman fits his way into the starting lineup somewhat soon, but nonetheless, Warriors dominate them. I mean, it's the second time they played this year. So these teams have gotten a little bit used to each other, but I think it's just phenomenal how the Warriors played tonight. Last game, like I said, against the Suns, which I recapped, was just a horrible game. The shooting was horrible, but if you look at the shooting tonight, it definitely improved. It could be better, but I'm not going to discredit any of the work these guys put in tonight because it was phenomenal. And final score, like I said, 118 to 91. Warriors move to 11-9. And they will play the Boston Celtics. That'll be a challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching.